We'll try a story. This is just a great yarn, really. It's called The Carrot the Piper, and it's a load of nonsense, but it's a great tale. It starts off in the year 98. 1798 was the rebellion in Ireland, and martial law had the sting of a viper. Was the only line I could remember. My father had it on a record when I was, I could only remember that line. Couldn't remember the tune. Eventually found the lyrics in a book, but no tune, so I put it to another tune. The tune is actually The Galbally Farmer, I think. But I've been doing it for so long like this, it's just how it is. And I'm going to attempt now. This is the dangerous bit. I'm going to play it on the whistle, and then I'm going to sing, and then I'm going to come back in with the whistle and hope that I'm still in key. It works sometimes it doesn't. But it is a grand tale. You've got to listen to it, really. And there's a cowboy version of it as well. A friend of mine sent me this book. He said, read this short story. He said, you might recognize it. And it's basically a cowboy version of the same yarn. So it's called The Carrot the Piper. Yeah, I can do it in that, I think. In the year 98, when our troubles were great, it was treason to be a Milesian. And I'll never forget the big black whiskered set that history tells us were Hessians. In them heartbreaking times, martial law had mankind, martial law had the sting of a viper. Kept any within till a bone through his skin went a-going through the rags of the piper. One beautiful night with the moon shining bright, coming home from the fair of Rathagan, he happened to see from the branch of a tree the corpse of a Hessian there hanging. Says Denny, them rogues, the fine boots I've no brogues, and he pulls on the heel such a griper. He was so gallus tight, and he pulled with such might, legs and boots came away with the piper. And he picked up the legs, took to his pegs, till he came to Tim Cavanagh's cabin. By the powers, says Tim, can't let you in, you'll be shot if you stop out there rapping. He went round to the shed where a cow was in bed, where the horse he began for to wipe her. And they lay down together on a 7-foot feather, and the cow fell hogging the piper. Day soon dawned, and he got up and yawned, and he pulls on the boots of the Hessian, and the legs by the law threw them in the straw, and he gave them leg bail on his mission. Tim's breakfast was done, so he sent out his son to make Denny leap like a lamplighter. When the legs there he saw, he cried like a dog, oh daddy, the cow's at the piper. Bad luck to the beast, she'd a musical taste, says Tim to go with such a chanter. Padraig of it, take this lump of a stick, take her up to Glenhealy, I'll canter. Mrs. Kavanagh bawled, all the neighbours were called, they began for to joke and to jibe her. To the churchyard they walked with the legs in a box, crying out, we'll be hung for the piper. withdraw the mile or two off to the fair by the side of Glen. And the creature was sold for 4 guineas in gold to the clerk of the parish daily. He went into a tent there to let penny spent, but the clerk was the woeful old swiper. Who the devil was there playing the rakes of Kildare, but their friend Danny buying the piper. And Tim gave a bolt like a half-broken colt at the piper, and he stares like a gummock. And he says, by the powers, I thought these 8 hours you were playing in Dermot's stomach. But then he observed how the Hessian was served, and they all wished next cure to the viper. And for glad that they met, their whistles they wet, and like devils they danced round the piper. Yeah, how about the piper?